Welcome to Maroon Sports Talk, your one-stop shop for everything EKU sports related. I'm Nicholas Speer.
I'm Jenna Evans.
I'm Joey Aguire.
And I'm Caleb Wells.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Maroon Sports Talk. We were off last week, but we are back this week, and what a couple weeks it's been for EKU sports. I mean, just pure dominance across the board. So let's jump right into the gridiron as we do every single week. So a huge win. I know we talked about it last episode against – this is kind of the gauntlet and kind of the proving yourself on the gridiron for football, and proved themselves they did. So it says I actually watched EKU on TV because it was just a very back and forth, and my grandfather actually got into it too. So it was pretty interesting. So kind of what are your thoughts about the win over Tarleton?
Way to find our identity. I think it's actually really cool how it happened. I got to be present for the last home game against Utah Tech, our homecoming game. And we really just asserted our dominance through the running game. But, I mean, in my head, I was kind of like, okay, like Utah Tech definitely just has a really weak line. Like they're just not good at run blocking and stopping the run. And then, they march into Tarleton State. Remind me where that is, Texas?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So they march into Texas and just do the same thing. The offensive line has really found their identity. They're just firing out, run blocking. Our pool guards look great. And then Carter, I mean, wow, that's running back Joshua Carter. He's looked
having a couple
incredible.
games,
yeah, behind that line, and he's just barreling through, and he looks great. Matt is doing a phenomenal job. He's getting not a lot of credit because, I mean, the running back's getting the yards, getting the touchdowns, getting us down the field, but, I mean, Matt still has to keep that defense honest through the passing game and through his legs as well. So that's a very underrated part of our game is just Matt keeping that defense honest.
You see him run the RPO and the read option
Yes.
earlier in the year. He wasn't really taking the ball.
He wasn't.
I don't know if it was nerves or whatever. He wouldn't pull it, but he pulled it this week.
He did pull it.
The game that he needed to pull it. So
and it hurt him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when they watched tape, they probably saw that he wasn't going to pull that ball. But Matt's proved all year that he can run. And he's looked good in scramble drills. But when they were running that RPO against Tarleton, seeing him actually pull the ball, I mean, that defense just wasn't even ready for it. They did not expect that. That was not in their tape.
No.
And he gashed them a couple times.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, that keeps them honest because now you've got those defensive ends, and they have to sit there for a minute. They got to lag because they can't crash after Carter because then Matt's going to run up that left side. But then you can't crash after Matt because then Josh is taking that right down the middle.
Yeah.
So, that's what really – kept that defense honest, and I think that's what.
Yeah, it really sets it up for the stage tomorrow. I know this
Absolutely.
episode will be out after the game, but kind of looking forward to this weekend. Central Arkansas is coming off a tough loss to Utah Tech.
Yeah.
So now they're 1-9 in the year, and Central Arkansas is 6-3, and we're 5-4. So it kind of really sets the stage of like who's going to make the playoffs. I think this is kind of a FCS playoff elimination game of sorts because it's just going to be super hard to fight back. For Central Arkansas or for us. So trying to get that tie with Abilene Christian, who's just dominant as well. So Matt Morrissey only passed the ball 11 times.
Right.
Joshua Carter ran it 22 times for 148 yards. Matt ran it 14 times. He ran more than he passed for 62 yards. And Braden Latham kind of got his touches as well for 11 carries for 47 yards. His long though was 28. Our running game lowest average was 3.4 for Matt. Josh averaged 6.7 yards a carry. So, and then on the back end, I think our strongest suit is that secondary and linebacker area. We get
the secondary looks phenomenal against Tarleton State.
We kept talking about the secondary all year.
We talked about them all year. But Mike looks incredible. Mike Smith Jr. He played a heck of a game.
Kind of silly at the end where he kind of dove and almost fumbled the ball away. So. Jenna, what are you kind of expecting out of this week against Central Arkansas? What kind of environment are you expecting from the home crowd?
I was just thinking about how the last home game, the environment on the sidelines was so much different than the environment of previous home games, just from the players. Like, I feel like there's just some sort of positive atmosphere that they have created on the sidelines. So when players are coming in and out, they are being fed that positive vibe. And so I really just hope they keep that up because that really helped at our last few home games. So definitely just keeping up the positive vibes.
Yeah.
So question for you, Nick. Is that win enough to secure Coach Wells' job?
I think so. Most likely. It depends on how these last 3 games go because it was our first top 10 win over opponent since 2006 on the road. It was our first road win of the entire year. So I know we haven't really talked about much job security, but it was looking kind of rough there.
It was. Especially, even coming into the season, people were talking about, is this Wells' last year? This is make it or break it year.
Because we made the playoffs in 2022, but we hadn't done that since 2014 before that. So I really think if we win this weekend, I think it's secure, but we got that statement win. Now we have a formidable road opponent in Austin Peay. You can overlook anybody, as Central Arkansas saw with Utah Tech. Yep. But these last 2 out of the 3 final games are at home. So I really think this is kind of the make or break game. Kind of like not a win and you're in, but like a lose and you're eliminated kind of way.
Yes.
So. Yes. Their quarterback completed 17 of 41, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. All of our interceptions net gained more than 10 yards. The running back did have his way with us, though. 25 carries for 155 yards but no touchdowns, though, for them. But I feel like that linebacker secondary core is enough. Now it's like, okay, say Joshua Carter has a bad day or gets injured. So...
And it was nice to see Latham get touches. This is the first time we've seen him get significant touches in a while.
The only thing I'm nervous about, though, is if a team can stop that running game, what are we going to do?
Right. I was going to say that would be my only concern. Like I said, we've really found that identity. But, you look at, even pro sports, and you've got those teams that, you look at back to, those, 2018, maybe 2020. Was it that Derrick Henry rushed for 2,000 yards with the Tennessee Titans? Yeah. And it looked like they were unstoppable. No one could stop that running game. And, they were just going to run it every single play, and there was nothing you could do about it. Yeah. And then they got to the playoffs, AFC Championship game, and Chris Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs said, hello. Yeah. And they ran for, less than 100. And because they were just so dependent on that run game, they did not have a quarterback that was ready to make those throws. Arguably couldn't make those throws. That's not a team that they were ready to face. I just don't want to see that happen to EKU.
Yeah. We've seen Matt be able to make plays. He's had pretty good games. People are going to be like, well, it's against Robert Morris and Morehead State. But we've seen him make those plays on the run. We've seen him scramble out, throw the ball down the field. A couple of receivers have had 100-yard receiving games. It was funny enough. He was 6 of 11, but only one player got 1 reception. He threw the ball to 6 different people. So
we've been seeing his prices all year for doing that. That's what really helps our offense the most in the passing game is that we spread the ball around.
Yeah. So what's next on our agenda? Moving from the gridiron, what do you got for us next?
Yeah. So volleyball had 2 games on the road, and then they just played one this past Tuesday here at home. But all conference play, continuing in conference play. And let's see, last time we were on the podcast, we did cover the wins against North Florida and FGCU, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so coming off those wins, they went to Austin Peay, and they looked great. It was a sweep 3-0. And Emily Hill is insane. Sophomore setter Emily Hill has really come on for the Colonels as of lately. She was... you can ask Coach Bazzani and a lot of the other players. Her and Vandergriff are the reason we won that series against North Florida. Against North Florida. She's the reason we won that. But same reason here against Austin Peay. She's posting triple doubles like it's a piece of cake. She posted 11 kills, 31 assists, and 17 digs. And I got to talk to Coach Bazzani about it after the win against North Florida. And she said, as amazing as Emily's been, a lot of that credit actually gets to go to freshman Cooper Abney.
Really?
The freshman setter, secondary setter. And she said because she's come on as such a good setter and really can post those 25, 30 to 35 assists a game. It's given her more leeway to play more offense and more defense with Emily because she now has sets where Abney is setting Emily. So that gives her a lot more leeway just to play Emily pretty much everywhere like she's done with Sarah Mitchell, but a step further because Emily also plays setter. So Emily had the 31 assists, but Abney was right behind her with 24. So that's really just helped the offense a lot. Emily is playing the right side usually, and that's been huge too because usually in our past games when Vandegrift, our all ASUN right side goes off the court. I mean, we're only swinging from the left side with either Sarah Mitchell, Cambry Lucas, Maddie Tolzman maybe. But now that we have 2 right sides, so when Vandegrift is checking off because somebody else is going to play her back row, and Emily's playing the front at the right side, we still have 2 hitters available from the left and the right side. So that's been a huge part of our success.
Yeah.
However, the game after we did play Lipscomb. Lipscomb swept us the last time we played them, and that wasn't the case this time, but we did, however, lose 1-3.
Yeah, that was pretty frustrating going on the road, but like we've talked about it over and over again, struggling on the road.
Yeah.
And then we came back home and beat Bellarmine, obviously.
We did.
And so that was a lot better. We dominated in the first set, but they won the second set, and it was just kind of like we have these moments where we go on super big runs, but then we allow our opponent to kind of make a run. How do you think we can contain that, like opponents going on these runs against us?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Bizzani about that a little bit, and kind of asked her like what her mindset is, and she said sometimes it's just making an adjustment. It's just giving the players a breath of fresh air, like letting them be like what you're capable of. I mean, you've reverse swept teams 2 times. It's about kind of just making that change and letting that settle in and letting them just do what they do. She said that's been like a lot of this year's team is just telling your players like what you're capable of, go out there and do it. Because I mean, she has multiple 5th-year seniors. I think 3 between Cambry Lucas, Sarah Mitchell, and Josie Schmittendorf. But yeah, she has players that have proven what they're capable of. She just needs them to go out there and do that. But she said sometimes it's just making a change. Against against North Florida, she made what was seemingly a baffling change. Our leading blocker, Paige Wagers, leads the team in blocks, is over 100 blocks on the season already. It leads the ASUN in blocks, and then last I checked, she was top 15 in the nation in blocks. Just having a historic season, really, as far as block numbers goes for EKU. And after 2 sets against North Florida, we didn't have a single block, and so she pulled her and put in freshman Caitlin Fleece. Yeah. And it was like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And we won 3 straight sets.
She seems to know when to, because you can see her reaction on the sideline when the other team's making a run, like most coaches do, and then she'll call a timeout and get the huddle together, put in people she thinks she can. And our communication's pretty great too. Out of every single timeout, our players are communicating, encouraging each other, which is good to see. It seems to be good morale. Jenna, for you, kind of when as an athlete, how do you kind of know when to work on something and when to keep something going, if that makes sense?
I think when it comes to working on something, if something is happening consistently that is not helping you, that is when you know something needs to change. So if you're running a play and it's just like you think it's a good play, you see the potential in it, but it's just not working, your opponent is beating you down every time, you definitely need to switch something up.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your kind of predictions the rest of the year, Kev? I know we got the secured the ASUN championship bid, so what are your kind of expectations? I know last year we had high expectations, but got upset by North Florida. So what are your kind of expectations looking forward to the ASUN championship?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think this team has just a lot of grit, I will say. Seeing them reverse sweep 2 teams gives me a lot of faith, knowing that when they're down and out, they can easily get back in that game. And Paige Wagers gave me a great quote, but she said we play like we're never down. No matter how many times they're down, they play like it's 0-0. And she said it goes for the same when they're up. I mean, they could be up 2 sets and have them on the other team on the verge of elimination, but they play every play like it's 0-0.
Yeah.
That's their mindset. And so, I really like that mindset of when you're down and out, staying in it. And so I think when they get to conference, championship, and they get in those tough situations, because that's what conference championships will be, that they can hang in there.
And I know we talked about how they struggled on the road, but that's true, yes and no, because I've seen them win on the road. Queens, they went deep into the 5th set, and it was on the road, and they won. So
that was our first reverse sweep.
Yeah, so I completely think that they can handle themselves on the road because the Eastern Championship will be on the road. It's kind of like what soccer's doing right now. We'll talk about them here in a little bit, where they're winning on the road. So, these teams do. They've kind of picked themselves up this year, and they'll be able to win on the road. So,
I agree.
Good luck with volleyball the rest of the year. We'll kind of move back to them when we do our predictions for this weekend. Joey, I know you got a lot to talk about esports and maybe some stuff with Jenna as well. So let's get into it. So what do you got for us?
So first I'll cover EKU esports, and then I'll talk about general information for League of Legends Worlds, because that just ended last Saturday. So our A team for Valorant won their series 2-0. They won the first map, which was a back and forth. And then the second map was a total shutout. They got all 13 wins in a row. Yeah. Which was...
Our EKU teams are just killing
it was like
so
the first
far.
time I saw that.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And EKU Esports Twitch did host a 24-hour live stream.
Really? Nice.
Over the weekend, I believe, where they played a variety of games. And I know they played Call of Duty Black Ops 6. There was actually live Magic the Gathering too, so people sitting at a table playing Magic.
So just a whole variety.
Yeah. And there was also Smash, I know that. But kind of upset they didn't show zombies for Black Ops 6.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting, yeah.
They only did multiplayer, which is...
That can be fun, but maybe zombies is everyone's
zombies, you could do the Easter eggs.
Yeah, that is true.
Which, I mean, that would have been cool to see people
You should just put in the live chat. Hey,
I should have.
Can you do some zombies, please?
I should have.
So you're just in there itching for the zombies.
Yeah.
But going to Worlds for League of Legends, it was a pretty intense match this year. So the two finalists were T1, which is, you guys have heard me mention that name before. That's Team Faker.
I did some research on them, and I didn't realize how big Faker is in his home country. He's on he's on signs. They called him the Michael Jordan of esports. It's pretty
yeah, he's huge.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
But I kind of checked it over the weekend too. I just wanted to do some research for this episode. They're in an arena.
Yeah.
A sold out football sized arena.
All the Worlds
where does
stuff
he play?
happened. So he plays out of Korea.
Okay.
But for Worlds they go to different locations.
Okay, nice.
So play-ins are in one area. Groups are in one area. Then it goes to placements and then knockouts.
Nice.
And each of those is in a different city.
So it's like March Madness, but esports.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And in this one for Worlds, it was T1 versus BLG. So LCK versus LPL. Those are two different regions. And it was kind of like a rematch from last year. T1 made it to the finals last year. It was just a different LCK team that they played. And there were actually only two of the series that went all 5 matches. Besides that, most of them only went 4. And out of the 2 matches that went all 5 games was the finals. And T1 actually was down on the 4th game 1-2. And they won the last 2 games to win their 2nd in a row and their 5th total overall Worlds title.
Jeez.
And at the beginning of the quarterfinals, a stat that they had mentioned was Faker has 100 wins at Worlds. And that was at the beginning of the quarterfinals.
Unreal.
So he's been in and out of Worlds for a bit.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right here. The capacity was 16,000 in attendance.
Jeez.
The YouTube peak was 3,398,000. The Twitch peak was 2,539,000. The English peak was 1.8 million. The Korean peak 1.6, and the Vietnamese peak 1.1 million.
Wow.
The total match by peak numbers 6,941,610. So, drawing in a big crowd this year for Worlds, as they usually do.
Yeah, it's usually big. Usually every stadium sells out. Last year
Had Linkin Park play the intro. I mean, it was crazy.
Wow.
It was, yeah.
What song was it?
Their new one, Heavy as a Crown.
Yeah.
Their new one.
Wait, Linkin Park has new music?
And they did
Where have you been?
Wait, okay, hold on.
There's an entire music video for League of Legends Worlds.
They're like
they
80 million
created
views. They have
based
a new
off
lead
of that
singer.
song.
Okay.
Caleb's got to go to check out.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi,
Like my
Caleb.
childhood apparently like has just been revived.
Yeah. But anyways,
Wait. Okay, like I could be totally wrong, but like he died, like didn't he? Didn't like
It's
the
a
lead
new
singer-
female lead singer. They have an album
my
coming
gosh.
out in a week. Their album comes out in a week.
Where have I been? Okay, apparently under a rock.
You have.
I was gonna say like, Jester like died. Like, I was like, unless like that was fake,
No.
and I've just like been believing a lie. Okay,
No.
okay.
All right, so Caleb's gonna, he's gonna listen to it.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
I'll give you guys the review next week.
Anyways, so Joey, continue.
But all in all, so obviously for a lot of sports like football and basketball, those are down to seconds. It's different for esports. Esports, it's down to fractions of seconds. And like being able to react faster than your opponent when they throw out an ability or something like that is what you need. So being able to just see what they're doing and being able to predict it too is a huge part, which makes it, I would say, a lot more, it could be seen as more difficult than some other sports where it's like, oh, you have an entire second in other sports. This one you can have like milliseconds to react.
It's pretty insane. So, anyways, I know you kind of wanted to talk about. I know last week we talked about being a professional player, but now you get into what you were going to talk about. What do we got?
So, okay. There were talks after the podcast of Jenna going professional for Fortnite. So,
This is my goodbye.
So for on ZipRecruiter, annual salaries are as high as $77,000 and as low as $27,500.
So it's like a spectrum.
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah.
So Jenna's either going to be doing pretty well
Or
absolutely broke.
Or
Yeah.
broke. Below, yeah.
So there is a video on how to become a professional Fortnite player in 60 seconds. However, there's 3 tips he mentions in it. Practice. They play 5 to 10 hours every day, and they try to throw themselves in as many tough situations as possible.
Like, is this like in life? Like, just like, I'm going to walk to the store instead of driving to
Yeah.
No, it is just in game where they do that.
I am not going to hide in this bush this whole game until the last player is in.
That's
and hop
actually
out.
all she does usually.
Jenna, are you a
so
bush camper?
Probably.
No.
I could see her doing
She
that.
You've
rushes.
played with me. Do I keep in bushes?
No.
No, yeah, exactly.
Jenna's a lot better than I am.
So the second one is being a pro gamer is one of the easiest and hardest things in the world to do. Easy because there's no schooling or funding to get started. Hardest because there's a lot of people trying to get into that top 0.0001%.
It seems like more now than ever that people want to become like professional, like either streamers or
Yeah,
esports athletes. It's just a growing fan base.
it is. And that actually goes into this next one, which is most money actually doesn't come from tournaments and stuff. It comes from the revenue they generate on YouTube and Twitch. So being able to be entertaining
Oh, I'm
is-
entertaining.
is a crucial part.
Alright.
I also pulled up, because Jenna asked about coaching before this episode, how much would you be willing to spend on coaching?
I think I have $4 in my bank account right now.
There is a $15 coaching session.
I think I could scrum that up, yeah.
Or if you want to throw
Check the couch cushions.
money down, there was a $190 one.
Ooh.
Ooh, got to be self-made. For
There's a
real.
couple other things I think I could buy. I think I'll be self-taught.
So I know you had some stats, Jenna.
Oh, I do, I do.
Read off some stats.
Okay, so you said-
The stat sheet.
So you said you had to be in like the top 0.0 what percent?
3.0001%.
Okay, so I'm almost there. I'm at 0.4. So
Okay.
for my win percentage, I mean, that's pretty good. let's remember I'm just a girl. I'm
No way
I'm
she just
also
pulled that
I'm
card.
also ranked. Oh, it left me.
What rank are you?
I'm gold.
What's
One.
the rank?
Yeah, I don't know
scaling?
what it is.
Here,
One.
I'll pull it
I'm
up.
gold 1. I don't know what that means.
Is
I'll
it
be
the same as
completely
rainbow, or is it
honest.
different?
I think it's a different.
I'm pulling it up. Okay. So there appears to be 18 ranks.
I bet I'm
3
the top
ranks in
one.
bronze, 3 ranks in silver, 3 ranks in gold, 3 ranks in platinum, 3 ranks in diamond, 1 elite rank, 1 champion rank, and 1 unreal.
So like, I mean, middle like for a college student, like middle tiers.
Being gold
bad.
isn't
Yeah.
terrible. I'd say.
I mean,
what-
I achieved the
what-
bronze.
you said you're gold
I
1?
achieved the silver. I'm gold 1.
So,
So gold 3 would be lower than gold 1, correct? You would go 3, 2, 1 like in rainbow,
Or is it 1, 2, 3?
or is it 1, 2,
backwards?
3? Is it different?
you're supposed to know this. You're the expert in
I mean,
this.
how many kills you got? How many kills?
777.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
776 more than I have.
So it goes 1, 2, 3.
It goes 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
But now, I have to give credit. I only have 1 win in solos.
you're gonna need to get that up if you want to go.
You got to run
professional.
solos more now.
Yeah.
Jenna, the
I have to give credit to the squads because they're carrying me at 82 wins. But
But you're a part of the team.
I am part of the
You're
team.
part of the team.
I am part of the team. But like, I might need some help.
Yeah, the
You got to do no build.
the yeah
Straight
the
kills.
getting
So-
the getting carried accusations. I think will start to serve as. It's gonna be like the Brock Purdy accusations. Game manager. Jenna's a game manager.
So
Can't win on her own. If she didn't have Christian McCaffrey and Debo Samuel out there,
Oh goodness.
she's losing.
I mean, my stats are pretty good.
What else you got? What else?
you are 3 ranks below peak. So the highest rank for like the average is Plat 1. So you need to get up to Plat 1.
Oh, okay. So I have to leave right now and start playing Fortnite.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. 5 to 10 hours a day of playing. So I mean, you've still got some hours.
yeah.
I have a basketball game tonight.
Hey,
you gotta-
look, you got time in between.
I have
Yeah.
122 hours of playing time.
It's not bad.
No.
Yeah. That's putting in the work.
Yeah. You
No.
just need to put.
But
in
that's
more.
lifetime, and I've been playing since I was like 13. So
Ooh.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah,
We'll come
yeah,
back to it.
that-
All right.
that'll have to be a
Moving
later
on
topic.
from the Fortnite allegations, let's move on to the basketball court. So the men's basketball team just tipped off their season.
Sure did.
They defeated pretty handily Alice Lloyd.
Yes.
98-69. So, but the road ahead does get tougher. You know,
Absolutely.
we played like I think it was like West Virginia Tech to open up last year. So we got East Tennessee on the road, at Clemson the 12th, at Chicago State, and then we played the Gulf Coast Showcase, which is late November, which is Ball State, Southern Illinois, Louisiana Tech. And then last game here, I'll throw it out, at Troy December 1st. And then we play a couple of ACC opponents. So
Yeah.
started out the year pretty early.
Sure.
I think they're like Division III NAIA. So
Yeah.
it's 2 tiers lower than us, maybe 3. So read off the, what do you got from the box score?
Yeah, I got the
Caleb?
box score
Yeah.
here. So as far as points go, leading scorer was George Kimball III. Second would be, so he had 23.
Mm-hmm.
Second closest was Jordan Crawford with 12. Turner Buttrey tied him with 12. Jackson Holt with 9. Blanton and Wool with 8. And then just some sporadic points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
the rest of the
sporadic
guys.
points throughout kind
Yeah.
of threw in a lot of the, not that they're good, but like a lot of the bench players that didn't get started or get a lot of playing, like freshmen.
Yeah.
Couple seniors and stuff like that. I know Robbie
Yeah.
Todd got some playing time and some
He
points.
did.
Good for him. That was really good. What do you think looked great off the stat sheet, and what do you think is a little bit concerning? And that'll kind of double piggyback off.
Yeah. So what I like off the stat sheet is George Kimball's points. I like the 23 points. Kimball looks like an athletic freak out there. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like our steal numbers, 17 steals. I like that.
We
I like
took
that
the ball away a lot.
Yes, we did. And I know it's smaller college. They probably don't have the best ball handling, but I don't know. Like, I feel like I feel like you can be good at ball handling at any level
But
of
you
sports.
can't like our energy on the court. Like George Kimball just has
Yeah.
a motor and
Well,
just
I was
won't
gonna say,
stop. Yeah.
I was gonna say like, I mean, our guards just were getting after it. I mean,
AW recruits guards.
Yeah,
and
I
centers
mean,
too. I mean, Isaiah Kozer.
Crawford had 4 steals. Blanton had 4.
Kimball had 2.
Kimball had 2.
Meyer
Wool had
had
2.
2.
Yeah, Myrick had 2. So we just had guys getting after it.
A lot of big motors.
Yes, they look like they're going to be going after those all year long. And Kimball, gosh, he's got a good wingspan. I mean,
Yeah.
people, Kentucky basketball fans are raving all about how long our guards are. Jackson Robinson, Lamont Butler, like those guys. But I mean, man, Kimball fits the description too. He's a guard with a good wingspan, and that helps when it comes to steals. And then for the thing I don't like, I hate that 3-point percentage.
Yeah.
Hate that 3-point percentage for a team that I think is going to need to shoot the 3-ball well to win games against a small school that probably shouldn't have been contesting our shots that well compared to ASUN opponents. 9 of 41. Don't like that.
I'll give you. I'll kind of be the rebuttal here. Jackson Holt was out all last year with an injury. He started. I think once he gets going, we'll be okay. Turner Buttrey is a bit concerning about his 3-ball defense.
Yeah.
I don't like Blanton's stat sheet, but I don't know if George Kimball just kind of took over the game. But he kind of got going in the second half, where people were pretty concerned about him in the first half.
I don't know.
But in the second half, he got a little bit going. So
Blanton, though,
3
that's a little concerning.
Yeah.
3 of 10 from the field. I don't mind the 1 of 3 from 3 for Blanton. I mean, that's about average for Blanton.
I think Jackson Holt can get it going.
Yeah,
I do too.
Holt, I'm not worried about either. He can get it going. He's been hurt. But gosh, 1 of 6 from free throw line for Blanton.
Yeah, that was a big
That's
concern.
really concerning. You are a 5th-year senior. Like, you're supposed to be leading this team, and you can't knock down 5 free throws. I mean, I don't know. That one's a little concerning.
We crashed the glass pretty well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We played really well in the
I mean,
glass.
but it's like kind of funny how that we're finding stuff to rip bad, but we won by 29 points. I think this team can go really, really deep in the conference tournament, hopefully, because, I mean, we were both at the press conference before the season started. I mean, he talked about 5 different times AW did about making the NCAA tournament. And I think we had the team, we had 10 players get average double figure minutes, more than 10. I mean, granted, it was against a lesser opponent, but that can just show signs of a deep team. So
yeah. I mean, they can definitely. I mean, it's the first game of the season. They can right that ship. Absolutely. Did you like that?
Only
Did you like
one
that?
so far. Only one.
Only
so
one,
it's pretty
only
great.
one.
So I think Blanton can get it together.
Absolutely.
He's our 5th year. He's our
senior.
leader.
Yeah.
He's our leader. First game of the season.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they go. East Tennessee and Clemson will be really good tests.
Sure. Do you think they changed starting lineup at all?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I could see them swapping Tyler Andrews.
Yeah, I could
see them
But
swapping.
he's long, he's built, he's athletic, he's a good forward. I think they can see Montavious Merrick swapping out for Meyer Wool.
Yeah.
Isn't Meyer Wool a freshman?
I don't think so. Isn't he a transfer? Isn't he one of the transfers from Charleston?
No, he's a sophomore.
Oh.
He is from Charleston. Though,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
I
he's
think
from
him
Charleston.
and Jordan Crawford came together. Yeah.
Yes, we have
I forget
2.
that George Kimball came from a D2 school, which is crazy.
Yes, he did. He was one of the top players in D2.
So
And shout out A-Dub for recruiting because we got to listen to Kimball talk at the press conference, and he said a huge part of the reason he's here is because the coach that called him the most of any coach across the entire United States was A.W. Hamilton.
And he just said, I have a motor and I want to get steals and put energy. And he showed that. So
And he did.
I think they could see them swapping Montavious Merrick for Meyer Wool, but I think Merrick will get his minutes for sure. He had a couple really good highlight dunks.
Yeah.
He's been
So
here a
did
while. He
Eaton's
knows
ball.
He knows the system. So I think he'll get his minutes as well. I think
will.
any one of these guys can get their minutes. And I trust Blanton and Holt are two
Jackson
veterans to
Holt
get together.
played 30 minutes. He led the
He started,
team.
yeah.
Okay.
I think A-Dub really wanted to get him going.
Yeah,
I don't know the
that
game
makes
plan.
sense.
I mean, he's a
That
great
makes sense.
player.
Yeah, Holt's great.
I
Holt's
think
great.
he can get it
I'm not
together,
worried
so-
about the 3 of 13 for Holt. He's going to get it together.
Yeah.
He's going to get it
And
together.
I think Blanton will get it together as well. So
Yeah,
I think
no,
we
absolutely.
got a good team.
Absolutely.
So
I just need those free throws to start.
yeah,
Getting knocked down.
women's basketball tips off tonight. We'll talk about them more next week. They played LSU. I mean, just I mean, it was LSU. So, but we led somewhere in the first quarter. I will tell you that. So, I think they can get it together. I know he's stressed. Like, it's not fun trying to figure a team against LSU. I think tonight, against Tennessee State, who's a formidable opponent, can overlook Tennessee State.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
1-0. So, I think we'll get it together tonight. I think we'll pull out the win tonight. I trust Alicia. I trust Caitlin Coster. We'll talk more about them next week.
Yep.
And they have a lot of good freshmen. Speaking of good freshmen, women's soccer.
Yeah.
Holy crap. So what are your thoughts on this run that they're on here before we wrap it up?
I mean, it's unreal. We were talking about, oh my goodness, what episode was it that we were just like, they're so close to figuring it out. They just
That was earlier in middle of October, September.
Okay,
actually.
right.
It was awful.
And we were just like, they're close. Like they're close. They just got to figure out a few things, and boy did they.
Yeah, boy did they.
Yeah, they've been on a heck of a run. Like you said, it has to do a lot with the freshmen on the team. But we've talked a lot about their defensive pressure all year. But I mean, let's give some props to the coaching too.
Mm-hmm.
I think
figuring this team out and the freshmen too.
I was gonna say, just a way to figure out
your team.
Your team, yeah. Just way to know your team. Way to know what your team needs to do to win.
Defense. If we get 2 to 3 goals a game, we have a shot to win.
Both
of two of our freshmen, Anna Manning and Ella Grode, freshmen won the game for us. Unreal stifling defense. They played Lipscomb, who beat us 3-0 earlier in the year. But I mean, when you have confidence, I mean, you can go anywhere.
Confidence.
Honestly, I think we can pull it out, and then if they win, I'm pretty sure they make the NCAA tournament. So which would be great for us. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Shout out the soccer team. Hopefully they can pull out the dub and keep talking about you guys next week. I mean, just stifling defense, way to figure it out. And props to our freshmen. Hopefully we can keep them here, kind of what we did for Maddie Rattan for softball.
Yeah.
Hopefully they just eat up EKU. And they like their teammates, and that's why Maddie Rattan stayed as well. So
Yes.
hopefully we can figure it out. I mean, just stifling pressure. We shut out FGC. We're the only team in the ASUN to beat FGCU this year in soccer, women's soccer. So that's pretty great. Good for EKU soccer. Kind of wrapping it up here. Predictions for the weekend. Huge football game on the gridiron, and for soccer and women's basketball. So what do you think, Caleb? What do you think?
Okay. Football. Give me the win. Give me the win. They lost to Utah Tech. We beat Utah Tech. I know the whole transitive property in football doesn't really work because, I mean, you look at those all the time and it's like all of a sudden the Panthers should be winning the Super Bowl and you're like, what?
Yeah.
So I know that doesn't really like translate in sports because teams have bad days, other teams have good days.
And they'll come in mad. They're going to come in upset. So.
But I do think we can win that game.
It's home.
It's home. That helps a lot. Like Jenna said, the home crowd has been nuts this year.
It's family weekend.
Yeah, that's right. We moved family weekend. Yeah, forgot about that. So that's going to help give us the win there. I think we're going to see more passing. I think they're going to really intensify on that run game.
I wouldn't be surprised if they see 7 in the box.
Yeah. They're just really going to stack that and try to make sure that Carter is not getting through. I think he's still going to have a good day. I think he's going to get paid dirt twice. I think he's getting that end zone twice. But I think Matt's going to have to pass a little bit more, and I think he's going to do just fine doing that. Volleyball, we take on Stetson November 9th at Stetson. Give me that win.
Give me the win.
Give me the win.
And finally,
Bazzani's
women's
going
basketball and soccer, I think. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, women's basketball and soccer.
Yeah.
Women's basketball, I don't know about a win. Tennessee State's a good opponent. I'd like to say a win. I think they're just still figuring out who they are, though. Figuring out who they are. But, I mean, I'd love to see a win. It would not shock me if they win. I'm just saying that one will probably be the most difficult of the sports. And in soccer, I mean, they look good. Give me the win there.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, perfect. All right, Joe, what about you?
I'm going to go with, I feel like every team can win. I mean, there's hope for all of them,
Absolutely.
especially seeing.
We did a homecoming sweep now. Family weekend sweep.
Yeah. That's all we need. All we need.
Yep.
What about you?
All right. Football, win. Volleyball, win. Women's basketball scares me, but I'm going to give them the win. And soccer also scares me because we're playing Lipscomb, and we lost to them 0-3. So, but I have high hopes, so I'm going to say win, but I'm a little scared.
Football, man, give me the win. I think Walt is tired of hearing the noise. I think this team is tired of hearing the noise. Give me the win against Central Arkansas. They're coming off a tough loss. I think Josh Carter's a big day. I think Matt has a big day.
I agree.
That secondary and linebackers are elite. It's going to matter come down to our D-line. We don't talk about the D-line a lot, but they had a huge sack that set up that Mike Smith interception. So it's complimentary football. Keep Central Arkansas's offense off the field. That's another big thing. We dominated the time of possession. For volleyball, give me the win. The two that scares me, women's basketball. I think iron sharpens iron. I think going down to LSU, I think that'll help us out a lot. And then soccer, man, give me the win. They keep winning on the road. They keep shutting people up. And I think for the first time in a long time, correct me if I'm wrong, we make the NCAA tournament within soccer. So give me the win. So that's everything for this week. Hopefully it's a family weekend sweep like homecoming. You can see us back next week. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you, guys.